Hello everyone, welcome back to Daily Dollars. Today, we're diving into a legal showdown that could shake the foundations of Social Security as we know it. A powerful coalition of disability rights advocates is taking the federal government to court, suing the Social Security Administration and a controversial new office called the Department of Government Efficiency, also known as DOGE. So what's going on behind the scenes? Why are millions of Americans with disabilities and seniors sounding the alarm? And more importantly, how could this impact you or your loved ones? We're breaking it all down, but before we get started, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Daily Dollars for all the latest updates on Social Security benefits. All right, let's get into it. According to the lawsuit, these organizations, which include the National Federation of the Blind, the American Association of People with Disabilities, Deaf Equality, and several others argue that the government's recent changes to how the Social Security Administration operates are both unlawful and harmful to some of the most vulnerable members of our society. The suit was filed in the United States District Court for the District of Columbia. The plaintiffs are challenging what they call a sweeping and destabilizing set of reforms enacted over just 9 weeks under the leadership of DOGE. These reforms include the elimination of multiple Social Security offices across the country, a reduction of over 7,000 SSA employees, the closure of 2 key SSA divisions, the Office of Civil Rights and Equal Opportunity and the Office of Transformation, and, significantly, new identity verification requirements that push more people to visit SSA offices in person. Critics argue that these changes represent a systemic rollback of accessibility for older adults and individuals with disabilities, many of whom cannot easily travel, wait in long lines, or navigate the increasingly complex digital systems of SSA. DOGE was created by presidential executive order with the stated mission of eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse in federal programs. But in the eyes of critics, its impact so far has been far more disruptive than efficient. The plaintiffs argue that the Social Security Administration, under DOGE's influence, has implemented policies that violate several major federal laws. These include the Rehabilitation Act, the Administrative Procedure Act, and even constitutional protections like the First Amendment right to petition the government. The result, according to the lawsuit, is a dismantling of the core functions of the SSA. Essential services like telephone support have been drastically reduced. Many beneficiaries, particularly those who are blind, deaf, or have limited mobility, are now forced to visit local offices just to verify their identity or update basic account information. The lawsuit isn't just about broad policy, it tells the personal stories of 7 individuals whose lives have been turned upside down by these changes. A legally blind woman named Treva Olivero learned in March 2024 that the SSA believed she had been overpaid disability benefits for over 5 years. The agency demanded that she repay more than $100,000, and soon after, her Medicaid coverage was terminated. With no income and no health insurance, she has since accrued nearly $80,000 in medical debt, while still struggling to have her benefits reinstated. Another plaintiff, Mary Shosh, was injured by a waste management truck in 2022. After returning to work to pay medical bills, she responsibly reported her income to the SSA. The agency made no changes to her benefits at the time, but in 2024, she was suddenly told she owed $30,000 in overpayments. Her benefits were cut off, and like many others, she has been unable to get in touch with the agency through phone, online, or in person. These are not isolated incidents. The plaintiffs say this is part of a larger pattern of dysfunction and neglect, resulting from an aggressive and arguably unlawful restructuring of one of the most important social safety net programs in the United States. The complaint states, and I quote, "What the defendants frame as reform is, in truth, administrative vandalism." That's strong language, and it reflects just how seriously these advocacy groups view the threat to the integrity and accessibility of Social Security. For context, the Social Security Administration serves over 73 million Americans through Social Security and supplemental security income programs. With more than 1 million disability claims still pending, delays or obstacles in service delivery can lead to dire consequences, including poverty, untreated illness, or even homelessness. In response to the broader concerns, a spokesperson from the White House released a statement saying, quote, "President Trump is committed to making the federal government more efficient. He has the authority to manage agency restructuring and workforce reductions, and the administration's actions are fully compliant with the law. So, what happens next? The lawsuit is currently making its way through the federal court system. If successful, it could result in a reversal of recent SSA reforms, potentially reopening offices, restoring staff, and ensuring remote access to benefits is preserved. And for millions of Americans, the outcome could mean the difference between accessing life-saving benefits or falling through the cracks of an overwhelmed system. That's it for today. Share your thoughts in the comments. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for Daily Dollars. Thanks for watching.